So Steve Shives put up a video about prayer and how it was a kind of sentimental way of being absolutely no help at all, and people who spend their time praying or say I'll pray for you would be better advised to go off and contribute to a charity or get involved in activism or help out at a charity shop or something, which is a completely valid thing to say. Then I watched a video by Big Lundy responding to that, basically saying, well, what's the difference between prayer and keeping somebody in mind? If you're praying for someone, isn't that a way of kind of focusing your attention or stopping your mind from wandering onto more trivial matters and activating a kind of concern for the person or the issue or the situation that you're praying about? So I'm thinking about that, and I'm trying to think, would it be, I'm not saying for 1 second that prayer has a target. I don't think when you pray, I don't think you're praying to anybody. I know Christians and believers of different faiths will disagree with me there, but I'm of the belief that there's no one to pray to. But could it still have an effect? I'm thinking, is there a way of testing that? Now, I know many tests have been done to see if prayer is efficacious in some way. In terms, does it make an actual change in the world? And it's been conclusively demonstrated that no, it does not. You can pray from now till doomsday and you won't make a physical change in the world, no matter how many of you are praying simultaneously. But could it make a change in your own behaviour, I suppose? And I'd really like to see a psychological test that explores this. And the nearest thing I can think of, and it's in a sense it's a kind of counter example to this, is some experiments that I know. Well, I can't remember the name of the experimenter, but I'll try and remember by the end of this video. It's to do with charitable behaviour. And if I remember rightly, the experiment is set up so the subject, the person who's being tested, gets the opportunity to confess to some wrongdoing that they've done, some minor infraction, a stealing or something like that. They confess to lying about something, some small act of betrayal. So they're kind of primed to feel slightly guilty about doing something wrong. Then they're invited to do something charitable, to make perhaps a financial contribution to charity, something like that, or to help somebody. And their actions are monitored. And then he did exactly the same thing again, but he gave those people the opportunity to wash their hands between them being primed and feeling guilty and them being offered the opportunity to carry out some kind of charitable act. And if you wash your hands, apparently, what it does is it lowers the amount of charity you're willing to display. Because if you're feeling guilty, you're more likely to be charitable. If you've washed your hands, which kind of symbolically removes some of that guilt, apparently, you don't feel as it is necessary to be charitable. So I'm trying to think, is there a way of running that? So it's like a simple psychological test that plays with the economy of prayer in there. So if you put prayer in between a person feeling guilty and then the opportunity to carry out some kind of charitable act, or just them knowing about something in the world. So for example, if you got people to watch a news item about some horrible thing that was happening in the world, or one of those adverts for people with cancer or people who are starving in some part of the world, so people watch that kind of an advert and then are either given the opportunity to pray or are not given the opportunity to pray, but are then offered the opportunity to make a charitable donation. Would the people who pray be more charitable, or would they be less charitable? Does prayer alleviate the sense of guilt and responsibility that you have for other people in the world, or does it focus your sense of responsibility for those people? Does it make you help more, or does it make you help less? That's an experiment I'd like to see. So if anybody's got the opportunity to run that kind of experiment, please do so and let me know the results. Thank you very much. Goodbye.